Hey, what's going on, guys? Gaming Kaiser here, and welcome back to World Tanks. I know that I said that I'd be trying to pump out some Hearts of Iron content today, but fortunately, my editing software is being finicky, and I don't know why. So we're gonna go ahead and just do some World Tanks because it doesn't really require much editing at all for me to make these videos, and I won't look like a complete muppet. So, first off, it's the holiday season. I'm gonna wear the hat. Fuck you. Second off, we are featuring Evo 732 and his Tiger 2 today. And how do the Muppets play it? I pulled this off the WoT Replays website, and he has a pretty good game here, but he also has very good matchup. Now, talking about the Tiger 2. The Tiger 2 is most definitely my favorite tank in the game. Is it the best tank? No. Is it the best at anything? No. I think the Tiger 2 is a very mediocre tank at best. But for some reason, it fits my playstyle perfectly, and I can make this tank work in almost any situation. Now, as I've stated before, how the Muppets play it is going to first show us the extreme results, the extremely good games that you could end up having in your Tiger 2. And Evo obviously has quite a matchup set up for him. There's not very many tier 8s, and all the tier 7s. The tier 7s are 2 ISs, which are easy to pen. And then we have a bunch of tier 6s. He's set up for success in this game. But anyway, back to the Tiger 2 itself. Tiger 2, let's take a look here. The Tiger 2 has 360 alpha. That's pretty good, considering the reload on this. The gun's very similar to the Lova, but I believe the Tiger 2 has significantly better DPM than the Lova. This is because premium tanks back in the days of when the Lova came out, the Tiger 2 was obviously one of the original tanks in the game. And the Lova was one of the original premium tanks. Well, back in those days, premium tanks were actually worse, but you got a worse tank for more credits. So it was a trade-off back in the day. Then the standard shells have 225 millimeters of penetration, which he packed 0 gold rounds, which is quite interesting to me. But which is, that's quite an interesting thing to me. I usually pack a good amount of gold shells, but I definitely don't pack so much HE. Why he decided to do that, I'm not entirely sure. The Tiger 2's HE, while it can give you a decent damage boost of about 100 alpha, it only has 60 millimeters of penetration. It's not anything special. Unless you're shooting at light tanks going full speed, which you're probably not doing in your Tiger 2, they're not really that useful. But I still do carry a few just in case. So he's just going to sit here, pick off these ISs, use the superiority of the Tiger 2's armor. Something about the Tiger 2 armor, despite the fact that it's really not that good on paper, manages to block a lot of shells. And in the next replay, with the more realistic matchmakings that you usually end up getting in your Tiger 2, you'll see that his armor still does hold up even in those tier 8 games. Okay, so really, at this point, nothing much happens. He snaps the Gag Panzer IV because this gun manages to snap. This gun is excellent all around, if you ask me. I think the penetration is pretty good. I think the DPM is pretty good. I'm more of a DPM over alpha person. That just tends to be how I play. Reliably penetrates, good shell velocity for even the standard rounds. And the gun handling is good. I don't know. I just had a complete brain fart there. Lost my train of thought. It's been a long day. Chocolate milk. I made that a little too chocolatey. Anyway, gun handling is good. When you're on the move, it doesn't have a ton of dispersion. You tend to not really hit stuff when you're on the move, but you can snapshot stuff because the aim time on this is pretty good. But it doesn't snap stuff like a Russian heavy does because Russia, but it does its very best, and it does a pretty good job compared to pretty much any other tanks that I played that aren't Russian heavies and mediums. So, as you can see here, he's had a pretty good game so far. He's blocked 2.4 thousand damage, 3,500 done. Granted, he's in a top tier matchmaking, but nobody ever looks at the Tiger II as the tank that dominates on the battlefield, the tank that's going to carry the team. But it can. It can do it. Now, granted, in these two replays, you're not going to see a bunch of team carrying because both the replays, the teams actually do their job. But it is capable of handling some pretty heavy fights, which you'll kind of see a glimpse of in the second replay that is featuring the best mobile tanks player, me, of course. And nothing really much else to see here. I think they cap out, and obvious victory. But ends the game with 4,000 damage and 2.4 blocked. GG, Evo, did pretty good. And well, I've had better games in my Tiger II. This is still definitely considered a good result in the Tiger II. So let's go ahead and hop over into what is the average Tiger II game, at least for me. Alright guys, welcome back to the second feature today. Now this is myself, and I'm in an all-tier 8 matchup, so not good. Not the best result that we can get, but definitely not a bad result either, because Tiger II really struggles with tier 10s, as most tier 8s do, and I would say is fair. Alright, so immediately I know where I need to go with my Tiger II, because in my opinion this is one of the perfect positions to hide my lower plate up here at the rock, well, the rubble, here by the building, and just dominate this alleyway, because Tiger II has laser accurate gun. It feels like, and oh, laser accurate. Well, most of the time. But I feel like when I get into positions like this, I can really take advantage of weak points of enemy tanks, and they're gonna have a harder time hitting mine. Oh, and I felt bad for that. Stock to 3 TP. I know that struggle. I played the Polish Chevy line. It was not enjoyable, to say the least. But while this game does go pretty slow, that's how most of your Tiger 2 games go. They go with you taking random bits of damage, like I'm gonna look here and be like, oh, I guess fuck the front armor of my turret, huh? Your armor piercing rounds. That's the thing about the Tiger 2. The turret is a huge problem with the Tiger 2 because while your gun matelet does manage to take up a good portion, pretty much the whole circle, that circle that sits in the center of the turret like this, right? They hit within that circle, it's going to bounce almost every time. I think that's pretty much all considered the gun matelet. And if it's not, then it's a lot of armor. But if they don't hit that, if they hit the flat parts of your turret, it's a lot of stuff's going through, including tier 8 armor piercing rounds, just standard armor piercing. It's not an unusual occurrence. Now with this GSOR 1008, 1008, whatever the hell you want to call it, I wasn't really sure how to attack it. This is the second time I've ever seen that. I believe there's a new tank in the holiday missions. Or, not holiday missions, holiday crates. It's a British TD with like an autoloader. And, I don't know, doesn't seem to have a whole lot of armor, which I would argue is good because, yeah. I don't want any more. I don't want any British assault TDs that are slinging 4 rounds at me within 3 seconds. That doesn't sound fun. Alright, so I'm not sure what I was doing here. Oh yeah, I remember what happened here. I was just getting frustrated with how slow the game was going, which happens a lot in your Tiger 2. You just sit there all the time, waiting on stuff to happen. Because in the Tiger 2, it is more or less a defensive tank. While the Tiger 2, you should get into aggressive positions, they need to be aggressive defensive positions. It's not super great at offense, though it does have the capability to do it. I just wouldn't always rely on its offensive capabilities. When I have such a perfectly defensible position here, I have no reason to push right now. Especially with all of those medium tanks off to my left. Definitely not pushing until they're done with. Yeah, the reason why I shot that wall is because I wasn't sure if the Brass and the P-44 were going to rush our British TD. And I wanted to be able to support him if they did, but they didn't. Alright. So, what are my really final thoughts on the Tiger 2? For what I recommend people play? Yes, I recommend you play it. I think it's a fun tank, but it definitely doesn't fit all play styles. If it's a more passive-aggressive play style, I know that sounds weird, but it does. It's hard to describe. It's hard for me to describe exactly what playstyle I believe that the Tiger 2 fits. Is its armor the greatest? Vitals. Does it have good speed? No. Is the gun good? Yeah, the gun's excellent. But I don't know. Despite its armor not being that good and being kind of wonky and not super reliable, it does pretty good for me. Here's where I'm showing you my confidence in my Tiger 2. This is its assault capabilities that I was talking about earlier. I believe it's I'm pretty confident when it comes to this thing's assault capabilities. That's why I got up into this aggressive position. I have some hit points left. I trust my armor enough to try this. Now, this pesky Ferdinand would be pissing me off. There's that good gun handling snapping right into the drive wheel of the Renegade. Unfortunately, we did not track him, but I probably wouldn't have stuck around anyways because of the Ferdinand. Well, I was hoping to track him out in the open so our Scorpion G might be able to get another shot on him. That was my hope. Alright. So, the Tiger 2. Do I recommend playing it? Yes. Is it the best tank? No. Can it be frustrating? Absolutely. How do we improve the Tiger 2? How could Wargaming improve the Tiger 2? Not that my opinion matters to them, I'm sure. Oh, hold on real quick. Let's just take a look at this. This is the armor of the Tiger 2 at work. And that good suspension. I love that rocky suspension. Well, Ferdinand ended up killing it. But that rocky suspension, real quick, I want to review something. But that rocky suspension really allows you to make it difficult to hit your lower plate. Now, look what I'm doing here with my gun. Oh, that's... Alright. If you can see, I'm actually pointing my gun down in front of his. I don't know why, but I seem to be able to think about this stuff in only my Tiger 2. I don't really think about this in any other tank that I have. But I'm actually pointing my gun barrel down in front of his gun because I know he's going to try to hit my lower plate. And it works. He actually ends up hitting my gun and breaking my gun, and it's definitely better than being dead. Not that it matters too much because I died right away afterwards to the Ferdinand, who I thought would be on the other side of the railroad tracks. I forgot I would have spotted him recrossing them, but I guess he did it before before I was able to get up there into position. So anyway, guys, that's the end of the replay. Really, we end up winning. Nothing too surprising or crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I'll meet you guys back over in the post-game stats. Okay, guys, welcome back to the post-game stats. So first, I forgot his name. What was it? Evo 732. Good job, buddy. You managed to get a Ace Tanker badge. Oh, you cheated on that. And a Steel Ball on the Tiger 2. Steel Ball on Tiger 2 is very respectable in my opinion. And, okay, obviously top on XP. Again, he had a very good matchup. It would have been hard for him to mess that up, I suppose. But again, that's the extreme results. That's the... He got in a lucky matchup. His shots were hitting very good. His teammates were doing what they were supposed to do. And his armor was holding up, and the teammates weren't absolutely bum rushing him. Overall, pretty good. Good game. Obviously, he turned out quite a profit because he fired 0 gold rounds, which I actually don't find that I ever had to do too much of my Tiger 2. Alright, so now over to my replay. that actually earned me my second mark of excellence on the Tiger 2, which, and that was, it was only Ace Taker second class, Mastery Badge second class, English. Actually ended up earning me my second mark of excellence, which I'm quite proud of. I can say, of all the tanks I've played in World of Tanks, which has been hundreds, the only tank that I've ever gave two shits about on the marks of excellence is the Tiger 2. That's just how much I love this tank. It's fun to play, it looks cool, it's historically cool. Maybe that's the reason why I like it so much, but god damn it, I couldn't imagine playing another tank. So obviously I was on the top of the leaderboard. Oh no, wait, no it wasn't. And Artie was on the top of the leaderboard instead of me. It's embarrassing. But this is usually the reality of your games in the Tiger 2. They aren't heroic, they aren't insane, but they're fun. It's a fun tank to play for no reason other than it is. And I actually cut out a pretty good profit too, a bit less. I'm not super sure why, probably because I was using. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Overall, I think the Tiger 2 needs a hull armor buff, maybe even another turret armor buff, simply because it really has a hard time against tier 9s if you're not angling your front hull, which I know sounds weird, and you're never going to side scrape against a tier 9 in a Tiger 2. Very rarely are you going to be capable of doing it. So I think either buff turret armor and hull armor, maybe you can leave the side armor alone, I don't know, or drop it down to tier 7. And if Wargaming came out tomorrow and said Tiger 2 premium tank, $250 at it's a tier 7 premium tank, they fucking have my money, because it's fun, and I think tier 7 is the matchmaking that the Tiger 2 actually deserves. It needs. Anyway, guys, again, sorry about no Hearts of Iron video today. The editing software is finicky. This doesn't really require a lot of editing, so I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.